Yeah. Get on my way. I need space to get the fake car. Get on my way. I need space. I'm about to take off. Get on my way. Yeah, the frequency been way up, way up. Get on my way. It's too easy. It's a layup. Give me my space. I'm in my pride. I was a prisoner, all of the mine. Now I'm a traveler leading the line. They wanna cut me, I'm bleeding divine. Home of the greed, land of the slaves. No, we ain't free. Still we do great. No, we ain't free. Still we do great. Yeah.
Alright guys, how about a quick drive down the road in the Calypso clone? And as you can see, the idle is not perfect, but it's getting there. So got Aubrey with me today. One of the main things that I've been trying to kind of fix with the car is the idle. And I have some tips and some pointers for you guys when it comes to that. Your idle air control is a big factor in why these cars surge and idle. So I got a sticky throttle, but what you guys want to do is make sure that your throttle blade is set correctly before you start trying to tune the car. If the throttle blade's been adjusted wrong, you're just chasing your tail. I will show you guys this. We're in third gear right now, creeping along in the neighborhood, and listen, no bucking, no snatching. So overall, I mean, the car is starting to drive really good. Now, we do not have auto tune set up right now. We'll cover that with you guys a little bit later. I get a pop back through the intake every so often on this car, and it sucks bright. And I think it actually has a valve that's too tight, so I need to look into that. Every once in a while, you'll get a little bit of a pop back through the intake. I'm almost certain since we went a half turn on the lifters, that's a little too much, so I need to back all those off just a little bit, and that should cure our problem. Alright, so I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll just do a third gear pull for right now. And I know you're not going to be able to tell a lot, but just listen to how cleanly the car runs. I'll put this window up. That's a little rich for cruising. It's like 13.8, 14.0, so I need to get some of the road. We want to be somewhere in the high 14s, 15s, just to save on fuel as we can. But either way, it's fine. A little rich never hurt anybody. Little rich. We got all kind of stuff going on up here. Just laying the damn road. I don't know how much gas we've got, but we don't need to go too far. I've got the timing turned down on the car a lot, and I can show you in a 3D map of it. Basically, there's no timing, then it all kind of comes on. So I need to smooth that out, and I think we'll have a lot better result with on-off throttle. Alright guys, let's go ahead and stretch her out. Oh yeah. I'm telling you guys, this car runs so good. I've got the rev limiter set at like, I think 5,500 or something like that right now, just to be safe. Car runs great. There's still a little bit of a miss in there, but not much. Hold on. Turn around right here. Starting to really come together, guys. I couldn't be more happy with it. Still a little bit of tuning and smoothing that we need to do, but I'm very impressed with it. black soot on the gear change, exactly what you want. That means this thing's running good, healthy, a little rich. I'm good with that. I love seeing a puff of black smoke come out in between gear changes. And obviously, I'm not trying to change the gears as quick as we can, but I do believe third gear on a good cold day, if you bang it hard enough, it's probably going to get sideways. It does chirp it right now. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and get the car back to the house. We'll talk a little bit more.
I'm going to go ahead and interject here real quick. Like, as you can hear, my voice is trashed. I've been sick for the past 3 or 4 days, but that is no matter, guys. This next clip was a complete failure. We decided we were going to stop and try to attempt a burnout with the Calypso clone. This would be its first official burnout. Aubrey did not hold the camera correctly. She tried, but she didn't know where she was pointing the camera at. But the point is, if you listen to the car revs great. You can hear it hit the rev limiter, which is set at like 5,500. So everything is working correctly. And that's kind of the purpose of leaving this in here for you guys, is just so that you can hear the car. So anyway, let's go ahead, get to that, and then we'll talk a little bit more afterwards.
I don't know if it's pointing, but...
He is riding out. I couldn't be any happier with this setup and the way it's transformed the way the car works. Now, you've heard me say a million times that you don't need a computer for these cars, and you don't. You don't have to have an aftermarket computer, but there's horsepower left on the table, right? We've always known that. But the drivability aspect of it is probably the biggest thing. So what we're gonna do in this video is I'm gonna come back out tonight and I'm going to run over some more things with you guys, and I'm actually going to try to sit down and do this correctly. We're going to go over some of the details of how I set everything up, and that way it can kind of help you get started. I don't want you guys to be in the blind if you don't know how to do this, so we'll go over everything real quick. Like, I'm going to leave like specific timing numbers and stuff like that out because I don't want anybody to blow their stuff up, and specific VE table fuel trims, we're going to leave that out. But we will go over this, and I hope it helps somebody. So I'll see you guys later on this evening or tomorrow, whenever I get around to doing the video. Catch you then. All right, guys, we are back. This is going to be a very short video. What we're going to do right now is just go over a couple quick things with the software that you guys are going to need to know about when you first get started. So one of the first things you're going to need to do is come out and make sure that your throttle stop is adjusted correctly. Now, I know that that's taboo. A lot of people say don't do that. You never want to adjust your throttle stop. Well, the problem is somebody else may have adjusted it. And if that's the case, then it could all be wrong. So this is what we're going to do to make sure that everything's good. Unplug your idle air control, start your car up, adjust your throttle blade until the car idles on its own without the idle air control. Once you get to that point, you can go ahead, plug your idle air control back up. And I'm not talking about 550 RPM where the car barely runs. I mean, get it on up to 650, 700 RPM, something like that. Then plug it up. That's very important to do, guys, because you will chase your tail if you're trying to adjust the idle on the car and you're relying on the idle air control. The idle air control is not your primary source for idling. You need to take care of that outside of your idle air control. So let's go over to the computer real quick. And guys, like I said, this is going to be real quick. We are going to go over some more stuff eventually. Right now, like I said, I'm pretty sick. So we are going to touch on a few things though for you guys here real quick. So one of the first things that you're going to want to do is verify your timing. So go in here, go to ignition option, wheel decoder. Go in here, come over to fixed timing. And what that's going to do is not use your tables that you already have set up. So now what you're going to want to do is go out and make sure that your timing matches that number. So mine's set on 20. I'm going to make sure it matches 20. If it does, then I'm going to come in and go back to use table. That way you're saying, okay, everything matched up. Now we can go back to use the tables. Over here, your trigger angle, you can adjust this to make that number match what is on the car. If you guys don't know, if you didn't see my other video, one of the first things that you're going to want to do is go into basic load settings, general, and go down to required fuel. And right here, what you're going to want to do is put in your displacement and your injector size, and it will calculate everything for you, and it'll put it down here for you. So you're going to have to do that, and that's about it. as far as getting your car to run. That's like your initial kind of startup procedure that you're going to want to do to make sure that everything is good to go. Guys, for the most part, that's about it when it comes to like your initial startup. You probably will have some issues with idle, stuff like that. It all really depends on how modified your car is. One of the first things, though, like I said, that you need to do is make sure that your car will idle without the idle air control plugged in. That's really a huge factor with this setup, or at least I have found out anyway. What I would normally do on a stock computer is set the RPM without the idle air control to about 600. And then once I plug the idle air control in and kind of relearn, and you have to be good. That's not the case with this. Like I said, go ahead, let the car run on its own, and then the idle air control is just there to catch it when it needs to. As far as timing and fuel tables go, we'll get into that later, but we're going to get back out here. Once I feel a little better, we're going to go through all these settings, maybe even do like a live feed where you guys can ask questions and stuff like that. All right, guys, sorry. I know this is probably not exactly what it was you were looking for, but I promise we will get back out here and I'll help you guys out as best as possible. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up, and as always, thanks for watching.